How y'all doing? My name is Joshua Uche. Pleasure to meet you guys. Cool.
Why do you want to be called Joshua?
It's the name my father gave me, a name I'm very proud of, and just trying to make my dad proud. So, yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about your dad?
My father, Emmanuel Uche, originally from Nigeria, immigrated here on his own, went to school at Southern University, studied architectural design and engineering, went back to Nigeria and got his mother and sister and brought them over to America, went back and brought my mother over to America from Nigeria, and, works out of Miami, Florida, has done a lot of big projects down there, and just one of the biggest disciplinarians other than Bill Belichick at the time in my life, and yeah, he's the reason I'm standing here today. So,
How exciting is it to be back here, post Bill Belichick era with this new regime with Coach Mayo and Elliott Wolf?
it's great. It's great to be back. It's different because Coach Belichick was the one that brought me here to New England, gave me an opportunity, and has instilled a lot of the fundamentals and principles that I'm carrying on today. And he's also another reason I'm here today, standing in front of you guys as well. But it's exciting to be back, seeing how everything is coming together. Coach Mayo being also drafted by Coach Belichick, and just carrying on that tradition of the system and the Patriot way, and just excited to bring in this new era, this new energy, and get things going, get things on track, and just be great.
Joshua, there are some reports that you turned down quite a bit more money in free agency to come back. I guess, A, is that true? And B, if so, why did you do that?
There were some options on the table, but in my heart, I felt, I was destined to be a Patriot. And, despite what was offered, I just felt like this was my calling, to be a Patriot. And I felt like it's what I was destined to do, and I felt like this is what it's what I want to be, man. I don't want to be anywhere else, and so, you got to do what you got to do and follow your heart, and yeah.
How would you describe that decision-making process?
It was it was interesting. I had a lot of people calling me crazy, a lot of people focusing on, the financial parts of the decision. But I feel like, the team that gave me an opportunity, there's nowhere else I'd rather be. I can't envision myself playing for another team. And, however that shakes out, I just know at the end of the day, if the ball was in my court and this is the dream that I wanted to fulfill, to be a Patriot.
How much did the opportunity to continue playing for Jerod Mayo and Marcus Covington motivate that decision to stay here?
Played a large role. Getting here to New England as a 20-some-year-old, from Miami, Florida, not knowing too much about, the Patriot way. They were patient enough to bear with me and kind of, allow me to develop and grow. And just the familiarity we have with each other, the trust we have with each other that we built over these 4 years, that is a large reason why I didn't want to go anywhere else, because they know me best. They know me better than any other coach in the league could possibly know me. So there's no place I'd rather be than playing for those guys.
Was there any aspect of you betting on yourself since it's a one-year deal?
Yeah, you could say that. This is home for me, so I know the ins and outs. I know the coaching staff. I know the players, the guys here. I know, this is home for me. So I don't know if it's that much of a bet because it's my home. But in terms of finances and years and things like that, yeah, you can consider that a bet, if you will. But if I'm gonna bet on anybody, I'm gonna bet on myself and my team. So.
What else did you respect about Mayo that would make him a good head coach, and compared to what you're now seeing that he's fully in that role?
I think last year was, difficult as a whole. Record-wise, it doesn't reflect the amount of hard work we put into things that's going on, but that's when you see the true character of somebody, is when things aren't going the way that they want them to go, and you see who's going to still stay in the fight, who's going to stick it out, and who's going to keep pushing and working hard every day. And Mayo was coming in and day out with a positive attitude, getting the guys going. And that's what you want out of a coach, someone that's going to be there through thick and thin. And it's my coach right there.
Joshua, you mentioned betting on yourself. Broke out in 2022. A little more disappointing in 2023. Would you say that was more health-related, scheme-related? And how are you planning on improving and getting back to that 2022 form this season?
2023, I was doing my job. Sometimes the sacks will be there, sometimes they won't. Sometimes you get some pressures, some disruptions throughout the timing and stuff like that. Sometimes, you hit those home runs each time. Sometimes it connects. But I was just doing my job the best that I could, to the best of my ability. And, sometimes, you hit those home runs and they feel great, but sometimes they don't. But you got to do your job and allow your teammates to step up and also, do their job and fulfill their roles as well. So, I had my different roles that the team asked me to do, and that's all I could do at the end of the day.
Do you expect to be able to maybe play more to your strengths this season under DeMarcus Covington and Drew Wilkins and all those guys?
Yes, sir.
Joshua, Christian Barmore is signing an extension. What does he mean to this defense?
Barmore, just a locker room guy. Everybody loves him in there. Character, but just a disruptive football player on the field. I just remember the stretch that Christian went on last year, and just, he really stepped into his own. And, it was just amazing to see him kind of blossom and to be a part of that. And I'm excited for the future for Christian Barmore, and excited to see where he takes this new level.
When you see Christian resign, your guy, Big Mike, gets a big new deal, Duggar's back, what does that say to you about this new regime?
It says, keep the homegrown talent. Guys that were drafted here, guys that were brought in here, that have been around for a while. They want to build off of the foundation that's been being laid since Coach Belichick was here. And I feel like that's the message I'm getting from that.
Does that matter to you? Like, I know we can tell, these guys were drafted here, they were kept, and that says something to us, but inside the locker room, like, is that something ever that's considered or has an impact?
I feel like everyone's just there to play football. I mean, you're happy for the next guy's success, but we all got a job to do. But, the themes of the guys being signed, like you're saying, that's what I, personally speaking for myself, is taken from it. But we're just here to play ball, and we're excited to keep some key pieces to help us continue to have some success. So,
what does it say about, the culture that everyone wants to be managed?
I think it says that guys understand the value of playing for the Patriots. Like, guys understand what it means to be a Patriot, and they understand what it takes, and they're willing to sign back up for it. So.
I feel like last year, being a Patriot kind of got skewed in some ways because of the record. In your eyes, what does it mean to be a Patriot?
To be a Patriot is to do things that others are not willing to do to get the outcome collectively that everyone wants. And, it requires you doing the hard things, requires time, dedication, effort, and sacrifice. And, most importantly, it's just understanding the greater goal of we're provided this platform to have fun and do what we love, to really provide a form of support for those who are actual Patriots, that are actually serving in our military and the Navy and everything like that. Because on Sundays, a lot of guys, once they're done with their day or spending father-son time, they look to football as a way to, build camaraderies with their families. And it's important, that we're putting the best product out there, for those who really serve in our country.
I don't know much college football you watch, but finally, what are your thoughts on Drake May and the Patriots bringing in quarterback at number 3?
I am not a GM. I am not a head coach. But I feel like, he has a lot of potential, great arm, very athletic. And I feel like he gives us an opportunity to win. But it's going to be a competition. There's other quarterbacks on the roster. And it's just, it's football. It's a competition. So.
Since the season ended, and talking to you now, be able to do anything personally or, that sort of gets you in the right mind space into the year?
Yeah. My dad's put me to work, man. I'll come here, go to work, get off work here, and then go to work for my dad. And just building that up with him, it's been great because, as a kid, there's some things that, you're in that father-son role, but as you get older, the layers start to get peeled back a little bit of, you start to see the character and the jokes, and it becomes a lot more of a camaraderie, and it's been great, even though it's working, he's putting my behind the work, but it's still great because we're doing it together, so.
Sorry if I missed it. What does he do? And also, when you were answering that patient question, you talked about father-sons watching football together. Is that something you and your dad did as well?
Yes, growing up after church, come home after church, go get some food, and then we'll go home and watch the game together. And that's kind of where I got into the game of football. And my dad's an architect engineer, so I'm actually doing some home renovations and stuff now, and we're doing it together. So. Yep.
Does he have a goatee too?
He switch it up, man. He switches it up, man. Like, my dad, sometimes he'll, go the little stubble. Sometimes he'll just clean shave. But I just, I wanted to switch it up, go goatee real quick. So, yeah.
So Joshua.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you remember about Joe Mayo? Last question.
Joe Mayo. I remember our days back at Michigan together. Just an athletic, physical, determined guy. It's gonna be fun.
Thanks, man.
Yep.
See you.